Welcome to another episode of Game Time, presented this week by Nusenda Credit Union. As I'm sure you know, it is a busy week with the quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals of the Nusenda Credit Union State Basketball Championships taking place this week. Round one is in the books. In this week's episode of Game Time, we will break down the brackets and hear from some more of the coaches who advanced. So, let's get this train moving. Ladies first.
Let's start in Class 1A. Top seed and defending state champ Roy Mascaro survived an opening round scare to advance to the quarterfinals against Corona Vaughn, who picked up a first-round road victory. Fort Sumner House beat Magdalena by 3 points earlier this season. The two get a rematch Wednesday at 11:30 in the morning at Bernalillo High School. Each of these quarterfinal matchups will be played Wednesday in Bernalillo. Jemez Valley and Logan will tip off at 6:30. The 10-seed Dora, who pulled off a first-round upset, will face second-seeded Cliff, who just got past reserve by 4 points on Friday.
With me right now, Dora girls basketball coach Clay Ferguson. Coach, I want to start with that win in the first round over Melrose. Did that surprise you at all? It surprised some other people.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, this second year in a row we've gone in as an underdog. We've last year we went as a 12 seed and beat Alamo Navajo in at their place, and then this year it was just I think it's a little sweeter just coming from like Eastern New Mexico and then being able to go and beat a team like Melrose.
You have 19 wins on the season, but you're a 10 seed. Do you feel like you're kind of flying under the radar a little bit?
I do. I knew what we had, and I knew the quality of team we have, the amount of work we've put in. I have a great assistant coach named Andy Hasso, and he's a lifelong friend, and we talked about it. I mean, we talked about it since last year. Like, man, I mean, coming up this season, I knew we were going to be tough. I knew it.
So, what kind of team do you have this year?
We have a good mixture of young and a couple seniors. Or we have 3 seniors on our team. 2 of them start, and it's just a good mix of youth and experience. And we have a great team speed. We run and gun. We're fun to watch.
What can you tell me about this time of year, state basketball, the postseason in a smaller community like Dora? I mean, basketball means a lot to everyone in this state, but what's it like in Class 1A basketball?
Yeah, we had a great turnout in Melrose. I mean, we almost had as many fans in Melrose as Melrose did. They're at their own place, and it's a big deal. It is. Basketball, and especially in Southeast New Mexico, our area, basketball is king. There's a lot of great teams. We have like the Fort Sumner's, Logan, Melrose, us now. I mean, we established a winning culture in a very short time. This is only my 3rd year there.
And now you take on Cliff on Wednesday in Bernalillo. Cliff is a young squad, just got by reserve in the first round.
Yes.
How do you match up with Cliff?
I think we're going to match up pretty good. We play a different style of basketball here on this side of the state. It's a high pressure run and gun. I think we're going to match up good. It's going to be, and Cliff, they like to spread it out, and they shoot the ball really well. So it's going to be an interesting matchup. I like where we're sitting.
What do you tell your team on Wednesday in the huddle just before the opening tip? What are your words of wisdom?
That we're not done. That our hopes are higher than just making Albuquerque. And this second year in a row we made Albuquerque. Last year we made quarterfinals, and I'm telling them this year we want more.
What would it mean to get that opportunity to play in that final game at the pit?
Oh man, it would mean the world. Both my daughters, whenever Elida made their run a few years back, I got to see both my daughters on the pit floor at the same time, and I told the girls, I said, "There's nothing like it. There's nothing like," and it wouldn't pass. It wouldn't surpass that moment of seeing my daughters on the pit floor, but it would be right up there with it to be out there coaching and seeing these girls out there.
Class 2A will play their quarterfinal games at the Rio Rancho Event Center. Top seed Mesa Vista will meet Laguna Acoma 6:30 Tuesday night. Manal will meet up with Tularosa at 3 in the afternoon. Tatum takes on Dulce at 8 a.m. and Pecos gets Penasco at 11:30. This will be their fourth meeting this year. One of their matchups went to triple overtime.
Through the magic of the internet, we're with Penasco head coach Mandy Montoya. Coach, you beat Clayton in the first round by 35 points. Is your team playing its best basketball right now?
Yeah, that's kind of been our focus, just getting ready, and we wanted to be playing at our best now in March.
You match up with Pecos now for the fourth time this season. One of those games went to triple overtime. How do you match up this time around?
We match up really well with them. They have some kids that can really get to the rim and shoot the ball well. So yeah, we're very familiar with them, and I'm sure they're very familiar with us.
What kind of game do you see playing out on Tuesday?
I don't know. That kind of just depends. I mean, we that triple overtime game was in the high 60s, close to 70. We've had a game with them where we kind of held them to 30. So you just never know.
How do you size up the Class 2A bracket at this point and the way things are kind of shaking out?
Well, there wasn't no upsets. So everybody, held serve at home. So that's not a surprise. I think, I said this last year. I think seedings don't really matter. At this point in the season, there's probably about 8 to 10 teams that could win it all. So it's going to take a lot of things, some luck, some matchups, and who's playing well at the right time.
Yeah, what is the key at this time of year to really advance to for Penasco to get to the semifinals and keep playing?
Right. Well, if we play the way we did last night, we were clicking on all cylinders, 4 kids in double figures. We're healthy. We had a stretch there during district play where we had everything from pneumonia to bronchitis and the flu. So just being healthy at the right time. But like I said, we want to be playing our best basketball in March, and we did that last night.
What kind of team do you have this season? You've had some teams that have gone deep into the postseason. What kind of squad do you have this year?
We have a pretty experienced squad. The seniors have been with me for 5 years. Two of the starters have been pretty much starting for 4 or 5 years. So it's a very experienced group. We have good guard play, and great inside presence with Macaulay and Romero.
You know what it takes to advance and go deep into the postseason this time of year. What does it take to reach that final game to get the opportunity to play in that last game at the pit?
It's just mental toughness. Like I said, there's 10 teams that could really win it all, and it's just gonna come down to doing whatever it takes, whether that be setting a screen, getting on the floor and getting a loose ball. It's just whatever it takes and outworking the opponent.
The Class 3A quarterfinals will also be played at the Rio Rancho Event Center. Top seed defending state champ Tohatchi takes the court at 8:15 p.m. Navajo Prep cruised into the quarterfinals against West Las Vegas. District rivals St. Michael's and Robertson go head-to-head at 9:45 in the morning on Tuesday. Tucumcari, the 5 seed, improved to 23-3 and will face Santa Fe Indian School. Tucumcari is riding an 11-game win streak.
Patrick Benavidez, Tucumcari girls basketball coach, is here to talk about his team. And coach, what's gotten your squad to this point in the postseason so far?
Well, just a lot of hard work and dedication. These girls are they're just very dedicated to the program. They play hard night in and night out. They're just a good group of girls that just care about each other and just work hard to make each other better. And that's just where we're at right now.
You only have 3 losses on the season. Do you feel like you're catching some teams by surprise at this point?
I think we get overlooked a little bit. And that's understandable. I mean, we're kind of over here in the east side of the state and just by ourselves. And but our girls have been building up the last couple of years, getting back to where we're one of the top teams in the state. And so I think I don't know if teams are aware of us, but we're looking at doing some big things this year. So
What's the key to your quarterfinal matchup against Santa Fe Indian School?
I think we really match up really well against them. Just being confident, bringing the confidence that we've had this down the stretch, and the key is our experience from last year, having that experience in the Rio Rancho Event Center. It was new last year to the girls, and we met up with a hot team in Tehachapi, and we played them good for a first half, and then they um they broke away from us in the second half, and we just couldn't. So just keeping our composure. Santa Fe Indian has a lot of experience in these situations, so we know that they're going to come out and just ready for the game, and we're not going to let the game be bigger. Let the moment be bigger than any of these other games we've played in, and I think we'll have a good shot.
How do you keep them at an even keel? Like you said, last year facing Tohatchi, this year at Santa Fe Indian School, both communities, bring tons of fans, very passionate. So it's almost like you're on the road, even though you're playing at the Rio Rancho Event Center. How do you
But
keep your team under control there?
so the last couple of years we've the first year I coached, we made it to the first round, and we got the opportunity to go play in Crown Point. And we walked in there, and that gym was just packed. The fans were sitting with the athletes on the bench, and so that was a good experience, and we learned from that last year that these teams bring a good fan base, um, and then whenever the time comes, these girls' mentality is it's on what's within the lines of the basketball court, and that's what they're focused on, and the crowd factor is not going to be I don't see it affecting us.
The Tucumcari girls have never won at all, never even played in the final, I believe. So
Correct.
what would it mean to get to that point and get that opportunity to play in that final game?
You know, I don't even we haven't looked back real like since the early 2000s, but I know that we've never made it to the semifinal game. So to make it to that game is going to be an accomplishment. And then I tell my girls, anytime you get that opportunity, anything can happen. Um, just like Tehachapi did last year, they were the 4 seed and they ended up winning the tournament. And this group of girls, their mentality is that they can win any game they play in, and that's something that we've instilled in them. I've had the opportunity to coach this group of girls, since they were third and fourth graders, um, moving on up to middle school, and then have the opportunity to coach them now in the varsity level, and that's just been their mentality. This girl, it's not just something that's new with them. They've had this fight in them since they were third and fourth graders, and any tournament that we went to, they made almost every championship game. We won some and lost some, of course, but that's something good about these girls, that they've lost some of those games, but that's how we learn, because we learn more whenever we lose the games, learn more from those games than what we do whenever we win them, and that's just the mentality they have now and there, and they're just a fun group of girls to watch.
Class 4A quarterfinals will take place at the Pit on Tuesday. Top seed Kirtland Central will face Valencia, who pulled off a 55-52 overtime win in the first round. Defending state champ Gallup gets Portales at 3 on Tuesday. St. Pius and Bloomfield tip off at 11:30. Artesia and Deming kick off at 8 a.m. The Wildcats pulled off a 21-point upset in the first round.
Joining me now is Deming head coach Kim Garcia. Congratulations on the win, a game that you led from start to finish, an upset win. Do you even see it as an upset?
I mean, I guess if you look at the numbers, yeah, it would be considered an upset, but the girls worked so hard, and I mean, they dominated the whole game. So I think they didn't feel like it was much of an upset. They just felt like they had a normal day at work. So it was really good.
And the girls really seemed loose, even from warm-ups and opening tip. It seemed like they were confident, having fun. What's kind of the vibe with this team this year?
Some of these girls have been together for a while, since about COVID, freshman year. They all had to grow up really quick, and their success, they just feel so good about themselves right now. And I think it just shows, like you say, at warm-up, they're out there, they're having fun. They're listening to music, they're cheering for each other, they're shooting, they're having a good time. So I think that confidence is key right now, and it's definitely showing in them, and they feel it. So that's the most important part, is that they're confident in themselves.
Let's talk about your quarterfinal matchup with Artesia on Tuesday. How do you two match up? You met in the first week of the season. Artesia had the advantage in that one, but are you a different team now?
Oh yeah, I think we are. That's the start of the season, like you said, second game at their home tournament. I feel that we match up pretty well with them. I mean, they do have a great center in Wagner. She's a really great player. And the girls have been playing against her already for about 3 seasons. So, they kind of know what to expect. They're a really tough team. Jeff does a great job coaching those girls. So I think it's just going to be going in with confidence, like you said, and having the girls just execute and doing what they do well at this point, continuing to do what they do well and doing it very well. So that's what we're going to focus on, is continuing to do Deming basketball and doing the best we can.
And lastly, what's this experience like for you? You lost.
For like our district is really good, and I love our district. I love being in it. And the way it falls, it feels a lot like it's going to have to play our district if we're going to make it to the final. And so it's really interesting. It's almost kind of like you feel like when you watch the NBA and they play a 7-game series, and it's just adjustment after adjustment after adjustment, and really fun to coach that way, right? Because it's your coaching, mind versus the other coach, and then can the players execute, and you just literally know absolutely everything about the other team. So it's kind of fun.
So yeah, you play El Dorado on Tuesday. You've beaten them 3 times already this year. How do you make it 4, and how do you match up with the Eagles?
Yeah, so I generally coach. I'm a defensive coach in general, and I give a lot of autonomy on the offensive end, and we really sort of hang our hat on our defensive game plan. And I know I can give autonomy on the offensive end because my kids are good, so I understand that. But defensively, it's just no secret. You have to limit Bella. You're foolish if you do anything besides that. You have to limit her, and they have 2 big kids, and you have to go, and we're little, and we have to rebound. So we'll do our absolute best to limit her, and then rebound.
What's your pregame message to the team on Tuesday afternoon?
Yeah, well, we respect respected and respect Alamogordo, but we felt like we really had some advantages playing a full court game versus them. I'm blessed with some very good guards, and so we weren't looking past them, but we have talked about the road forward, and if you sort of do the chalk, right, the chalk says that it's our district. And so what I'm always encouraging our girls to do is to not overthink it. Everybody's going to have nerves in the pit. I'm not from New Mexico originally. I'm from Virginia. And one of the reasons I love being here is because this state tournament is different from where I'm from. That state tournament, the parochial schools play only each other. The private schools play only each other. The public schools. New Mexico, it's literally every girl in the state has a chance to come do this. And so my girls, like El Dorado, they're going to come in with some nerves, and we talk about just embrace it. Like, you've been in this pit since you were little girls watching this. Like, embrace it. It's okay to feel nervous, but let's double down on the things that work. The things that worked in the small gyms are the things that will work in the pit. And so I just let's talk about it, right? There's going to be some nerves. You guys have been watching games here forever. Love it, embrace it, but double down on the things that work. Connect to the game plan and we'll be fine.
Are you living the life of an athlete? The New Mexico Activities Association brings you Life of an Athlete, a resource for students, educators, and parents to understand the challenges students face. Athletes, one night of drinking will negatively affect your athletic performance for 2 weeks. And athletes who drink or do drugs are twice as likely to get injured. Alcohol's effects can reduce a high school athlete's potential by as much as 20 to 30%. Are you living the life of an athlete? Log on to the website to find out today.
In life, things aren't scripted.
If you're an athlete, we need people like you and translate those skills to officiating.
You can get a lot out of it.
It happens in every town, in every game.
We never have a perfect game, but the rewards always outweigh the negativities.
Welcome back to Game Time, presented this week by New Senda Credit Union. We've already discussed the girls' brackets, so now let's break down the boys. Here's a look at some of the teams who advanced to play this week.
Here's what the boys' Class 1A bracket looks like. Top-ranked Magdalena will meet up with Evangel Christian Oak Grove, who pulled off a first-round upset. That game is Wednesday afternoon at 4:45 in Bernalillo. All of these quarterfinal games will be Wednesday in Bernalillo. Logan will meet Melrose for a fifth time at 8:15 at night. Legacy Academy will get defending state champ Fort Sumner House at 1:15. And the 3-seed Des Moines will take on district rivals Cimarron at 9:45 a.m.
With us right now, Des Moines head coach Ben Doherty. Thanks for joining us. Congratulations on the first round win, only to get you a sixth meeting with Cimarron, right? How well do you two know each other?
Yeah, well, thank you for having me this morning, JP. We know each other, I mean, kind of like the back of our hands. I mean, we played, I think, 5 times last year, and then this will be the 6th time for this year. So like we're almost like family. It's pretty neat. But I mean, it's exciting, and Eloy's one of the best coaches in the state of New Mexico, so it'll be a tough matchup, that's for sure.
What's the most challenging thing about facing a team 6 times? You won the previous 5.
Yes, I mean, it's my boys have played well. Their team has played well. We've been lucky to come out on top the last 5 times, and we're hoping for the same result on Wednesday. But we know it's going to be a tough game. The hardest thing is we know that Coach Brazil is going to be prepared for everything. He's in all 5 games. He has showed different defenses each time, so we know he's going to have something up his sleeve. All of the hundreds of wins that he has and all the experience. So we just got to be prepared for everything and hope it goes our way.
Well, your team is playing well right now. 25-3 overall, riding an 18-game win streak. Is your team peaking at this point? Are they playing their best ball?
I think so. We've had really good practices the last few weeks. We went through a little change when we lost Destry Sumter to an ACL injury right before the Cimarron game in Cimarron. And he was our big man in the middle, so we've had to adjust and move some guys around, but Davis Cisneros has jumped into that starting role, and then I've had some other kids off the bench really step up. So this is kind of a new team, for what it was, and we're kind of hitting our stride right now. So I'm excited to see what next week brings.
For those who haven't seen you guys play this year, what can we expect when you arrive in the metro area this week?
Well, we like to play fast. We want to get up and down the floor and get in transition and shoot the ball, and we like to have a good motion offense, but we kind of have hung our hat on defense this year, and so we're going to be a real aggressive, active defensive team, and hope that wins. And I kind of always thought that wins at this time of year, so we're going to keep after it.
Des Moines hasn't won it all since 2006. What would it mean to survive, advance, and get that opportunity to play in that final game at the pit?
Well, if we're that fortunate, I mean, that's been our goal all year long, and so we're hoping for it. And it's going to take some bounces here and there, and it, all 8 teams left. They're really fantastic teams, and so it's going to whoever's playing the best and executing, and honestly gets a little lucky. But it would be pretty neat. I was actually on that team in 06, so it'd be pretty cool to bring that back with now that I'm coaching, and bring it back home to our community, our fans, and everybody's pretty excited.
In Class 2A, top seed Academy for Technology in the Classics out of Santa Fe continues to roll. Their 34-point win in the first round gets them a quarterfinal date with Santa Rosa at the Rio Rancho Event Center at 6:30 p.m. Wednesday night. Tularosa takes on Texaco first thing in the morning, and defending state champ Pecos will meet up with the 2-seed Eunice at 11:30. Rehoboth Christian and Mesa Vista will meet in a 4-5 matchup at 3 o'clock.
Let's talk with Rehoboth Christian boys basketball coach Kevin Zwiers. Coach, this will be your first meeting with Mesa Vista this season. How do you match up with the Trojans?
Yeah, I mean, they're a tough matchup. They've got some really athletic kids. They're really skilled. And so we're going to have to really take care of what we need to do, value the basketball, play defense, rebound, things that we've been emphasizing all year.
Looking at your roster, you're senior heavy, at least it appears that way. How much has that helped, that leadership, that experience, get you to where you are right now?
Yeah, our seniors have just been so instrumental in what we've been doing. 2 of them were freshmen when we won the state championship. So they've really been working to get back to this level. And I mean, they've just been phenomenal in their leadership and, kind of understanding what it takes to play at an extremely high level late in the season.
When you won it all in 2021, do you reflect on that with this team? Do you guys talk about it at all?
I mean, yeah, we kind of think back a little bit, but I mean, it is a completely different team as well. Yeah, we have 2 freshmen that were on that team that played marginally on that team, but yet they got to experience what it felt like and kind of the level of commitment that it takes to do that. So we think back to that a little bit, but this is a totally different team. They have their own identity and they formed that themselves.
A different team, a different identity, but what can we expect to see from your squad on Wednesday?
Yeah, I mean, the things that we've been emphasizing all year is valuing the basketball, handling pressure, and that's something that Mesa Vista is able to do. They exert a lot of pressure with their athletic kids. So that's one of the things that we've got to be able to do. And then we talk a lot about just staying together as a team. Just making sure that we are staying positive with each other, that we're encouraging each other, and that we're stronger as a team rather than as individuals.
You're an experienced coach, still in the postseason in this bunch that's out there playing this week. What do you preach to your team going into a quarterfinals matchup like this one? Because you know what it takes to succeed and continue and advance.
Right. I think one of the big things is that we just need to remember who we are. You get to this point in the season by doing the things that you do and you do well, and you can't suddenly reinvent the wheel right here. You've got to continue to stick to what got you here. And for us, that's, being efficient on offense. It's playing solid defense, hanging in there on the glass, rebounding.
The 3A quarterfinals should provide plenty of excitement on Wednesday in Rio Rancho. Crosstown rivals Robertson and West Las Vegas square off at 4:45. St. Michael's and Santa Fe Indian School are also in that same district, and they play each other at 8:15 that night. Santa Fe Prep takes on Navajo Prep at 1:15. The 2020 and 2021 state champs match up at 9:45 Wednesday morning when Bosque goes to battle with Hot Springs.
With us right now, Bosque boys basketball coach Clifton Davidson. Coach, congratulations on the win. What do you think about the bracket and the 8 teams that are left standing in your classification, you being one of them?
I'm just glad to be one of them, first off, and to have this opportunity to keep playing. I think we have a really, really unique bracket with a lot of very talented teams that really, of the 8 teams, any of the 8 teams, I think can win this thing.
How do you match up with Hot Springs, your quarterfinal opponent?
We haven't really seen them in person all year. I've kind of had my eye on them, kind of thinking that we would match up this way, the way it was kind of looking. So I think they're a very talented team. Coach Bean does a great job there. He always has his team prepared. Unfortunately, we're very good friends, and we kind of keep running into each other in these state tournament games, and would prefer to be on the opposite side of the bracket to give us a chance to play in the championship instead of the first or second round. But I think they're a very talented team, very well coached, and is always ready to play. And I think it'll be a very good matchup for us.
Well, listen, friendship goes out the window this time of year.
I think we're just nice guys, and we want to compete and we want to do well. We definitely want to beat them. They want to beat us. I think we have an opportunity. We have some very talented seniors who are very motivated and ready to play this game, and I think we have an opportunity to prevail in it. But it is not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy.
When we spoke before your first round game against Socorro, I asked you how the team's playing, and you sounded really confident. You said they're playing really well right now. Are they peaking at the right time?
They are. They're putting it all together at the right time on the offensive end, the defensive end. There's a lot of trust between them, especially the older guys and the younger guys. They're really motivated, locked in. I was thinking back to 2 years ago, winning in the first round and the celebration that they had and how excited they were. And this year we won that game. I walked in the locker room and they were just, the job's not done. That was their attitude. There was no celebration, no, real excitement. They just expected to win that game and to be playing again. And they expect and want to be playing on next Saturday.
Yeah, when Bosque won it all in 2020, do you see any on-court similarities between that squad and the one you have this year?
Not really. That squad was really heavily dependent on Eli, my son, to do a lot of things offensively and defensively, to score the ball, 20, 30 points a game, that sort of thing. This squad is much more balanced. They really, from top to bottom, I feel are better overall team, offensively and defensively, than that team. But that team was just locked in. They were so motivated. They were so determined. They had just been so tired of being downtrodden that there wasn't really anything that could stop them and get in their way at this point. And I get the feeling with these guys too that they know that they can compete and that they can have a chance to win this thing, and they are going for it.
And lastly, you know what it takes to lift that blue trophy at the end of the season. What's it going to take for your squad this year to get that opportunity?
It's going to take for us to continue to stay together, to continue to be positive with each other. We've played at a high level of basketball all year long. Even in the games that we've lost, we've had chances in most of them to finish and win those games. We're going to have to play smart down the stretch. And just have a little bit of luck on our side and stay healthy at the end of it, and play really smart basketball. I think if we can do those things, then we can definitely get another chance at that blue trophy.
The top 8 seeds in Class 4A are the 8 teams still left playing. Number 1 Highland gets Grants Wednesday night at 6:30 in the pit. Hope Christian and Artesia will take the court at 11:30. The Bulldogs have won 9 in a row. Valley blasted Bloomfield in the first round. Next up is Lovington at 3 p.m. on Wednesday. Defending state champ Albuquerque Academy has to get by rival St. Pius if they want to continue their quest for a repeat. That game is at 8 a.m.
With me now, Academy head coach Marco C. Dubaka. Thanks for joining us. Congratulations on the win, and let's jump right in. What's it like facing a rival like St. Pius in the postseason? You've already beaten them a couple times in the regular season.
It's exciting. So, we're two different teams. We played them 3 months ago, early December, early January, and we've been through the gauntlet of both our districts, which are tough. So, we're different teams, but it's going to be super exciting.
Did you expect to be here at this point? You lost a couple elements from last year's title team. You had Joe Jack and some of your leading scorers back, but did you expect to kind of be where you're at right now?
Yeah, our goal is always just like it was last year. Get to the pit. The pit is magical. Anything can happen. And last year our mantra was road to the pit, and this year is just back to the road to the pit. So no surprise, we played a tough Gallup game last night. They brought the entire town. It was electric, the atmosphere, so kind of prepared us for the pit. So we're excited. It's a privilege to play in the pit, and we're excited.
What do you remember about that magical run at the pit last year? And do you use any of those elements going into this season?
Absolutely. So it was, we went through a lot of routine, and the season prepared us for it. We played a lot of back-to-backs, and this year was the same thing. We played like 4 or 5 back-to-backs, and that prepared us. We have 4 seniors who have been through that. We have 6 players total on the group who went through that road with us, and then 6 or 7 other supporting characters that are their first time.
How do you size up Class 4A at this point? The top 8 seeds going into the bracket, or the 8 teams that are left still playing? How do you look at it and break it down?
So beginning of the season, I got interviewed by somebody, and I said 4A is up for grabs, and the top 8 seeds got through, and I still say anything can happen. You get to the pit, it's exciting. A lot of the teams have already played each other, and we've beaten each other. So I don't know if there's a clear-cut favorite.
So if 4A is up for grabs, what's going to be the deciding factor? What's going to separate one team from the others?
It's whose will is stronger, who comes to compete every single play. We tell our kids plays in the first quarter are just as important as plays in the fourth quarter, and you have to win every single play. And whoever wins more of those is going to end up on top.
Last but not least, the 5A bracket. 2-time defending state champ Volcano Vista will cap off the night at the pit Wednesday at 8:15 against Santa Fe. La Cueva will take on Atrisco Heritage at 1:15. Atrisco put up 106 points on the Bears back in December. The 2-seed Oregon Mountain will face Los Lunas at 4:45. The Knights have beaten the Tigers twice this year. And check out this double-digit quarterfinal matchup, 14-seed Sandia against 11-seed Albuquerque High. That one is at 9:45 a.m.
Let's talk with Leroy Barella, head coach of the Albuquerque High Bulldogs. Coach, we're going to start with that upset in the first round, and it wasn't even just an upset. I mean, you beat them by 24 points. How'd you get it done?
You know what? We had a great week of practice. I think the guys came in Sunday after the little watch party. They were excited to see their name up on the board, and it came in with some with the I don't want to say a new focus because these guys have been focused since day one, but it gave them like a new energy. And we went into practice Monday and felt really good about Monday. Wish we could have played Clovis Monday night with the type of practice that we had, and then we rolled that into Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday. And so after every practice, we were ranking it. 0 bad, 10 good. I said Monday was like an 8.5. Tuesday felt like a 9, and we kept building up to a 10. And we got to what I felt was a 10 Thursday, Friday, and I said, okay, let's roll this 10 into Saturday, 6 p.m. and let's be ready. Coaches did a great job breaking down film. We looked for different advantages, opportunities. We were outside, so they're really, really big, and so we had to find our opportunities in the perimeter, and then in the gap lanes. And the guys just went in, and for 32 minutes we executed.
Do you feel underrated? Do you feel like an underdog?
No, we had an issue and then everybody goes through it, but at the middle of district we had 2 significant injuries, and we saw 37 points sitting on the bench that couldn't play, so we were 4-0 in district. And then we lost 3 games by a total of, I think it was 3 points in district, 5 points. 1 to Los Lunas, at Los Lunas by 2, and then or by 3, and then 2 to Santa Fe by buzzer beaters, where we had 2-point leads and they hit threes in the end to end the game. So I felt like if we would have had our guys healthy going through district, I think we could have been seated a little bit higher. But like I told the guys, wherever we get ranked, wherever we get seated, I feel like we can play with anybody, and that's going to be that was always going to be the message, and that was going to be the game plan.
Well, now you take on another double-digit seed in Sandia. How do you match up with the Matadors?
I'll tell you one thing. I mean, and everybody knows this off the bat. They're well coached. Danny Brown does a great job with that team. I think his son's doing an excellent job controlling the perimeter as far as offensively. Thomas Adams is a heck of a ball player. We have to watch some film. We got some film right after this. My coaches are coming in, so we have a full day of film, and we'll have a game plan ready for him. But as far as matchups, I think it's going to be one of those classic metro type ball games where it's going to be up and down, and hopefully a lot of points put on the board, and hopefully more on our end. So, yeah.
What do you write on the board in the locker room before that quarterfinal matchup game at the Pit?
Well, in the message all year long is you've earned it. You know, nothing's going to be given to you. There's nobody out here that's willing to give you anything because you're from Albuquerque High, none of that stuff. So keep working and keep earning what you get. And so that's going to be the message. It's not going to be easy. It's a tough battle. Numbers don't mean anything, 11s and 14s. And right now there's the 8 top teams in the state are playing against each other as far as the way the bracket's working itself out. And our message to the boys, the message on the board is, you know, continue to work and continue to earn what you're taking.
Good luck to all the teams playing this week. Don't forget, you can purchase tickets to games at the Rio Rancho Event Center or Bernalillo High School by going to gofan.co/NMAA. For games at the Pit, you can purchase tickets by calling 925-LOBO. That's going to do it for another episode of Game Time, presented this week by Nusenda Credit Union. Make sure you tune in next week because we're going to recap those finals in all classes, boys and girls. And my guess is we're probably going to be sitting next to a state champion discussing their route to lifting the blue trophy. So, until next week, we'll see you next time on Game Time.